Hello, I'm Amy O'Donnell, Director of Communications for Texas Alliance for Life, and I'm standing here in the Capitol today with Dr. Joe Poyman, the Executive Director of Texas Alliance for Life, and we have had quite an exciting week this week. Started off dark and early in the morning on Monday with the governor's prayer breakfast, which we were so honored to attend and hear from the governor himself. He is one of the most pro-life governors in the nation and has an amazing pro-life history, signed some great pro-life bills into law in our state, and we know he has a couple coming his way this session as well, and we want to share some updates about those pro-life bills with you. I'm going to hand it off to Dr. Poyman to share about one of our top legislative priorities, the Human Life Protection Act.
Thank you, Amy. We had a huge last couple of days. The Texas House passed the Human Life Protection Act, and that is one of our principal goals in this legislative session. That's the bill that protects an unborn child in the womb beginning at conception, fertilization, and it goes into effect when and to the extent the Supreme Court overturns Roe versus Wade. That bill has already passed the Senate. Now in the House, the House just passed on a preliminary vote on Wednesday and then a final vote on Thursday, passed that Human Life Protection Act, and that's House Bill 1280. We're very pleased by that. Now we're not done yet. That bill has to go back to the Senate, and the Senate will pass it. Now we feel very confident the Senate will do fine there because they've already passed the Senate Bill 9 by Senator Angela Paxton. So that bill's looking great. Within a matter of days, the legislature should have passed that, and it will go to the governor's desk where he is eagerly awaiting that bill so he can sign that and other pro-life bills. We also want to commend and congratulate State Representative Shelby Slauson. The House also passed a bill that she was the author of, and that is the Texas Heartbeat Act. That's a bill that bans abortion beginning at the point when the baby's heartbeat is detected. Huge achievement for a first-year freshman representative, and that was passed by the House on a preliminary vote on Wednesday and a final vote on Thursday. The Senate has passed exactly the same bill, and that is Senate Bill 8 by State Senator Brian Hughes. So we want to commend them. Those will soon be off to the governor's desk for his signature as well. Amy, what else do we have?
So we have a few more pro-life bills moving through the pipeline, so to speak, and we're excited about the progress each of these have made. One I'd like to highlight next is our Chemical Abortion Safety Protocols bill, and that is to enhance our state's RU-486 safety regulations so that drug-induced abortions maintain adequate safety protocols if the Biden administration blocks the FDA regulations. We have seen a little bit of a tweak in them in the midst of everything that's going on in our country with COVID, where they've been relaxed. It's our goal in Texas to protect our women, even as we advocate to protect the unborn. And one of the ways that we can do that is by ensuring that a woman has to keep that in-person physician visit so that she can determine if she has an ectopic pregnancy, if she's Rh negative, and there are some factors there that can cause some complications, as well as if she's really within the window gestationally where those drug-induced abortion medications are considered safer. And we in Texas are working hard to keep those regulations, and we want to do our best, as I said, to protect women because drug-induced abortions are the second most common method of abortion in Texas. They make up 40% of them, and even under the best of circumstances, they result in a 4-time higher complication rate for women. And so for something that already has a lot of adverse complications, we want to do what we can to make sure we minimize those and protect the health and fertility of women in Texas.
Thanks, Amy. Another priority is a couple of bills that would address and protect the conscience of medical residents during their training. So these physicians during their residency are not coerced into performing or participating into abortion as part of their training. Two bills, House Bill 1291 by Representative Keith Bell, that gives these physicians notice that they do not, under federal and state law, do not have to participate in abortion as part of their training. Another bill by Senator Donna Campbell Senate Bill 1439 is an opt-in bill. The physicians would not participate in abortion unless they actively opt into that training program. Otherwise, they don't have to. Two very important bills. We're still working on those. Amy, what's next?
We have a program in Texas called the Alternatives to Abortion Program, and every session, the numbers that are allotted to that program are looked at to determine if they should be increased or decreased. In the last legislative session, it was determined that $80 million would be allocated to the Alternatives to Abortion Program. This session, we're seeing that number go up $10 million a year, which makes the $80 million go to $100 million. And we know that this means more mothers and more babies in Texas will be served. Dr. Poyman, can you tell those listening today where those funds go?
Yeah, it's a fantastic story because there are more than 130 organizations that are receiving these funds, and these are life-affirming organizations. We're talking about pro-life pregnancy centers. We're talking about maternity homes. Basically, they help women before the birth of the baby. If the woman chooses to keep the baby, then they help her with that. If she chooses to place the baby with the loving option of adoption, they will help her. Typically, they will track and help the woman for 36 months after the baby's born. So it's a fantastic use of tax dollars. Amy, tell us about the Senate Bill 22 fix.
Yes. So last session, Senate Bill 22 was passed to cut off funding of abortion providers and their affiliates by taxpayer funds. And the city of Austin found a loophole in that, and they are currently allocating taxpayer dollars towards funding abortion logistical services. So while it's not abortion providers and affiliates, it still is put towards women obtaining abortions. And we know that taxpayers in large numbers do not want their tax dollars funding abortion in any way, shape, or form. And so what we're seeking to do with this Senate Bill 22 fixer bill, and that is carried by Representative Noble in the House and Representative Campbell in the Senate, is just simply to close the door on that loophole so that no more funds in the future can be allocated to abortion providers, affiliates, or logistical support services. Where the city of Austin is putting those money is really appalling. There's a program called Jane's Due Process that helps teen girls work around the parental notification law and essentially helping, minors, 13, 14, 15, get abortions without parental consent. And so we definitely are against that. We want to do what we can to not fund that in any way, shape, or form. And so we're going to close the door. We're believing that that's going to pass this session. We know that there's a lot of excitement behind it, and it's just a matter of time and seeing it move through.
The last issue we want to talk about is an issue at the end of life, and this is an issue which is very important, and a couple of bills we're trying to block because they would do great harm to terminally ill patients that are in the process of dying. It's based on the premise that physicians should not be required, even if the surrogate demands it, to harm their patients, to provide medical interventions that are extremely painful, that do not provide any benefit that's proportional to the burden, and that burden is great pain and suffering, and the interventions are only causing the patient to extend the dying process. The basic principle is this: a surrogate should not be able to demand a physician to do an abortion, nor to demand the physician to do assisted suicide, nor to, for example, do euthanasia by starving the patient to death. These are things that no surrogate should be able to force a physician to do. At the same time, the physician should not have to provide, at the demand of a surrogate, medical interventions that are causing great pain and suffering. And basically, we're talking about medical torture of a patient who is dying, and these interventions are only causing the dying process to extend by days or weeks. There are a couple of bills that we strongly oppose, and those are Senate Bill 917 and House Bill 2609. So those are bills we don't want to pass. They would do great harm and suffering They do great harm to patients, and they would set back the pro-life movement on this end-of-life issue by 22 years, because that's when the current law was passed. So we're asking, stay posted on this and all these issues, because we're going to keep you informed on how you can help on the last 3 weeks of the legislature. There's great things coming, folks. You're a big part of it. We've got to thank everyone who has sent an email, made a phone call to your own state senator, to your own state representative, to the speaker or lieutenant governor, because you are absolutely making a difference. So we'll end it here. Stay posted, visit our website, and we'll keep you posted with ways that you can help. Thanks very much.